Want to get more Bitcoin? Well, one way to get more Bitcoin is by mining, and you can mine with elevategroup.io. They're in Irkut, so they have really cheap electricity. You can buy the miners online, and these are the miners that are currently available at the time of recording. You can track their progress, see what they're doing. Your miners are doing through the Awesome Miner dashboard, and that way everything is transparent. They publish the profits and the costs and everything publicly on the Telegram group. I do invite you to go check it out, join the Telegram group. Hi everybody, this is Crypto Rich, working with you to get rich with crypto, filling our pockets with crypto profits. I have with me a very, very special guest from a very, very special project, which I know absolutely nothing about, even though it's a top 100 by market cap project, and we're going to find out what it is. Now, before I introduce my guest and we talk about this project, I want to let you know this is not investment advice. Do your own due diligence and do not invest any more than you can afford to lose. All I'm doing in this video and all my other videos is sharing with you what I discover as I travel along on the blockchain. And I have with me David Jeffries. And David, it looks like from the sign at the back of your head that you're in Bird Avenue, which is fine.
Nickname from high school, Bird.
That's your what?
That's my nickname from high school, Bird.
Really? How come?
Just kind of picked up the nickname on the baseball team. Bird Avenue down the street in Buffalo.
Okay. Have you ever seen the film Birdie?
I don't think so, no.
Oh, you got to see that film. Great film. Alan Parker film. Okay, so make a note, Birdie. Anyway, but that's not what we're going to talk about. We're not going to talk about films, right? You are one of the team. You're the business development at VSystems. Is that right?
Yep, Director of Business Development at VSystems.
Okay. All right. We're going to find out what VSystems is and what it isn't. And where are you in coin market cap?
We're hanging on to the top 30. We were as high as 27 a couple weeks ago, and right now we're number 30.
Right. Okay. All right. Okay. So top 30 cryptocurrency project, VSystems, and I know it's a pretty new entrant into the coin market cap. But before we talk about VSystems, do you want to say a little bit about yourself so we know who you are and what you do?
Yeah, my name's David Jeffries. I'm from Buffalo, New York, and I've been obsessed with crypto going all the way back to 2013. Very serious student in the early days of the space. I spent the last almost 2 years working as the manager of business development for Steemit Inc. And so my job at Steemit was pretty cool. I was responsible for new exchange listings and managing the exchange relationships. And then also I was responsible for doing a lot of the developer outreach support. So projects would reach out to our company and want to learn about building their DApp or their app, their blockchain application on Steem. And I would handle most of those calls and most of those relationships and kind of show them the growing ecosystem of Steam-based apps and how easy it is to build an app on Steem and try to get them into our ecosystem.
Right. Okay. And you left Steemit and you've been with VSystems since when?
Yeah, very, very, very recently. I left Steemit about a month and a half ago, and I've been with VSystems about a month.
Okay.
It was a nice, smooth transition. Actually, when I started doing the exchange deals for Steem was in the top 30. And so it's kind of like the same thing all over again. Now V's in the top 30. Steem is inflation based, and it's kind of been sliding down the charts a little bit.
Right.
So very excited to push forward listings and wallet integrations and industry partnerships and stuff like that for this new project.
Okay, so that's what you do. Okay, and I got referred to VSystems by another YouTuber. I know hardly anything about VSystems, right? So do you want to tell us what VSys is? VSystems or VSys?
Yeah, whatever's easier. VSystems is kind of the technical term. VSys, if we're saying it over and over, but the ticker symbol of the coin is VSYS.
Right.
And so you've got the native blockchain. So at the core, VSystems is a public native blockchain infrastructure play. And it's kind of competing with, the Ethereums and the Trons and the EOSs of like having this established blockchain infrastructure from which hopefully, we'll see apps or, DeFi applications with millions and hundreds of millions of users one day.
Right. Okay. So a platform protocol like Ethereum, like Tron, like EOS, like Komodo, which I've covered loads, like Skycoin, and there are others like that. Conflux, which is a new one that's being rolled out. right, that I've also covered on my channel. Okay, so then people can build applications on top of it. Now, it's its own blockchain. Is it a fork of something, or did somebody come up with a whole new idea, structure?
So originally it's a fork of Waves.
Right.
And so Waves is that blockchain where, it's got the DEX built in and it's got easy token creation. But it's, had since the fork of the fork happened, there's been much original development work, and the chief architect, Sonny King, who we'll get a little bit more into later, he invented a brand new consensus mechanism that he embedded into the VSystems blockchain, which is called supernode proof of stake.
Supernode proof, because I was going to ask you what's so special about the. It's almost like, oh my god, not another blockchain, not another blockchain. Right?
There is some very special stuff about this one.
Yeah,
especially the team and kind of the pedigree of like the chief architect. The pedigree of the project goes back to the early, very important days of the space. Sonny King is a pseudonymous Asian American developer with very, very, very influential in the early days of the space. He invented proof of stake when he launched Peercoin in 2012.
Wow.
And so, I mean, you can arguably say that, he's up there with Vitalik's, with Satoshi as, some of the most original, impactful, influential developers in the space.
Right. Okay, so he invented proof of stake.
And so that invention of proof of stake, when he rolled out Peercoin in 2012, I mean, that's touched really the whole space today, because we're seeing everything is, everything is about staking. Everything is about some variation on proof of stake, whether it's delegated proof of stake, whether it's the staking, that Cosmos is kind of working at, or whether it's, the big transition that Ethereum is trying to make.
Right.
So you've got like all the top projects can draw their, really their genesis back from Sonny King and his invention of proof of stake.
That's incredible. Okay. All right. So anybody else on the team you want to let us know about? Any other superstars?
Yeah, our CEO is really top notch. He, very bright guy. Went to one of the top universities in China. Then he got his PhD in mathematics from Northwestern. Did Wall Street for 5-10 years, and then kind of left all that behind to go, to go back home to China and to do crypto. He was managing one of the exchanges in the ZB family of exchanges, and then got hooked up with the VSystems team right as, they were kind of getting everything ready, I think, to roll out the mainnet. Maybe even earlier than that, when they did the private placement sale in early 2018.
Okay, and his name?
Really top notch, and you kind of just, the team kind of just, is very effective, top down, because it's really the best team I've seen, and in this space, really the team is so important, because you're competing with everyone on tech, but everyone's kind of even on tech. I mean, it's kind of ahead. It's got the most established, infrastructure laid. But like one app, like CryptoKitties, can kind of break it or slow it down. And so all the kind of people that are lagging behind Ethereum, gunning in the same kind of market, it's all about infrastructure. It's all about the team and the partnerships and the infrastructure that you lay. Because then you got the big vision everyone's going at, is we want to be the platform for millions of dApps, millions of side chains. So that's kind of the big dream. And then the reality is the infrastructure.
Okay. And what's the name of the CEO?
Alex Yang.
Alex Yang. And all the team details on the website, VSystems?
I believe so.
Okay. No problem. Well, I'll have all the relevant links in the description below.
If not, definitely the Medium thread, VSystems thread, has a lot of great articles and notes and some stuff on the team. And our first time we met them in Korea, we did a big meetup.
Right. Okay. And is it a Asian-based project? Where are you located?
Yeah, the team's based in Hong Kong with heavy ties to Chinese developers and Chinese projects.
Right. Okay.
So kind of one of my takeaways from the couple of years at Steemit was China was a really hard market to understand and access. Like, I knew people in the industry all over the world, but China was always kind of a little black box. And that's why I feel like a project coming out of China, and then doing the rest of the world is pretty special, because it's hard to go the other way. It's hard to go the other way around.
Right. Okay. Okay. All right. Now, tell me about this blockchain. The consensus. How does it work? What's special about it?
So the tagline is re-architect blockchain, decentralized finance. And so the DeFi play, the decentralized finance approach, is what they're kind of coming out of the gate with. And they're going to come out of the gate with that by launching Euclid next month, which is a set of non-Turing complete smart contracts. Very important that it's non-Turing complete, because we know there's been some problems with the Ethereum Turing completeness, and some complexity leads to some security vulnerability issues there.
Okay, David, could you explain? I've heard this before. It doesn't make sense. I told you before we started recording is, my background is in social work, not coding or anything. What does it mean to be Turing complete?
Turing complete means, kind of an analogy would be like a language. Like, you're Turing complete in English. Like, you have, vocabulary, you have a set of rules, and you can just talk free flow. And so if a programming language is Turing complete, very extensible, it's, there's infinite complexity that can happen, because you basically write, it's a language, and you write it per the rules of the language. Bitcoin, on the other hand, is non-Turing complete. There's a specific set of scripts that can be embedded in each block, and each kind of there can be like on-chain operations that are very specific. And so we're taking that approach. We're gonna offer a specific set of tools for DApp or blockchain application developers that they can tap into to create a token on top of our native blockchain platform. One of those.
Okay, no, hold on. I want to make sure that I'm getting this right. So, if I listen to what you said, English, for example, is Turing complete, because it has rules, it has a certain systematic sort of structure that everybody sort of follows. Even, dare I say, Americans, up to a certain point, right? Their spelling falls apart. But apart from that, even American English is Turing complete, right?
Yeah.
Because people can string all sorts of if we think of this is good. I really like sentences as dApps built out of their language, right?
Yeah, sentences is like, maybe think of like a book or a paper you write as the dApp, and the sentence is like a component or a line of code.
Or the outflow of it or something. Yeah, I got it. The code, right? So, and that's the same for Chinese or Arabic or Swahili. They're all Turing complete. And a Turing incomplete language might be, let me forget this, right? That if in English all the pronouns were missing, and then somebody could come along and add something in there that creates something new. Am I getting this?
Maybe it's just a limited subset, like a limited subset set of rules. So if you had to like start every sentence off with, I'm crypto rich and this is what I think. If you could only start a sentence off that way, I guess then we're getting closer to like non-Turing complete English.
Okay, I'm crypto rich, and this is what I think about what you said. This could get very tedious. And the VSystems blockchain is not Turing complete, because then people can add.
Yeah, so the smart contract platform that we're rolling out on top of VSystems is non-Turing complete. Okay. And it's specifically tailored for financial applications. For example, anyone can launch their own token on VSystems once the smart contract platform is rolled out in a couple months. And it's very, very simple. In the hot wallet on your Android, you can create your own token, and then that token will have its own block explorer. It will have its own wallet, because it's all going to be compatible with the existing VSystems infrastructure. And one of the things that you'll be able to do on top of a V token and not nowhere else is the concept. We're bringing the concept of like reverse splits and stock splits over to blockchain. And so, very, very well established kind of protocol of, finance is stock splits or reverse splits, where if your share price is getting too expensive, like Bitcoin, you can double or triple or 5x the amount of tokens, and everyone gets 5x. Everyone gets 5 times the amount. The price would come down, but the relative wealth would stay the same.
Okay, we're going to come to that, because that's fascinating. But when I go quiet like that and my mouth's a little bit like, it means I'm amazed. Okay, or I'm impressed or something like, wow, right? Okay. Is the code open source?
Yes, open source on GitHub, which you can get to from VSystems, which is
Yeah.
our URL.
Okay. Now, what about in terms of transactions per second? You know, how fast is it? What about the load on the blockchain? What about the cross chain? Is it blockchain agnostic? I'm just throwing out lots of terms here and then you could describe it a little bit more.
Yeah, one of the things we should get into a little bit is, so we touched on Sonny King invented proof of stake. Then he went and did Primecoin, or first he did Purecoin, which rolled out proof of stake. Then he did Primecoin, which was kind of like a mining for good play, where the work wouldn't go to waste; it would go towards trying to find prime numbers and do something useful. And then he disappeared for a couple of years, and then he came back to work to be the chief architect on VSystems, and that's when he implemented the supernode proof of stake, which is one of the main things that drew me to this project is the supernode proof of stake, because it's a very egalitarian, it's a very friendly, open system where anyone, even with one token at 15 cents each, can participate in staking and earning the minting rewards from the stake that they lease out. And so on our VSysRate.com, on the site that ranks the supernodes, you'll see there's about 30 projects up there, and there's 15 of them that count. There's 15 of them in the supernode positions, and they get in those positions by leasing stake from large shareholders, participants in the private placement, and they can lobby and try to attract other people in the ecosystem to lease stake to their supernode. And then the cool thing about leasing to a VSystem supernode is the supernodes compete with each other, and they share about 80% of the block reward with the leasee. And so you get some VSys token, and you pick one of the delegates, whether you want to get paid out daily, weekly, or monthly. And then the rate, they try to compete with each other on the rate. And then you just one quick button, and boom, your tokens are still yours, but they're leased to someone that's going to generate passive income for you. And so if you add up the whole staking economy, I read a stat that it's about $25 billion. And so staking is really just kind of all the rage nowadays. It's what, in my thinking, it's what attracts investment into these infrastructure plays. And the fact that anyone can benefit from staking is really exciting.
Right, because it's like a blockchain savings account. You just park your money somewhere, or it could just be in your wallet, and you, I suppose, assign it particular characteristics. So you kind of ring fence it and say it's just locked doing this. Mm-hmm. So you still have the private keys, you still have your crypto, and you get a percentage return. And what sort of return do people get on the supernode, participating in the supernode?
About 17% yield.
17%.